Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my YouTube channel, the channel where I strive to make the world a better place, one video at a time. Yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing something a little different. Usually it's me. I'm over here yelling and whatnot, speaking and whatever, standing up in a suit and tie. But today we're going to do it a little bit different. Today we're actually going to talk about, because we're around the season of Thanksgiving, and we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of being thankful. The importance of being thankful. So the first question is, or actually let me explain real quick before I dive into it, what I'm going to do with my mother. This is actually my mother. What I'm going to do with my mother. So I'm going to ask her 3 questions, and they're all about, the importance of being thankful. And hopefully you all can learn a little bit, because she's lived a little. So hopefully you all can learn a little bit, a few lessons in terms of what, because she used to talk a lot about us being thankful for what we have. And if you don't have, a lot in the refrigerator, that's okay. At least there's something in there. If you don't have the greatest home, at least you have a shelter. If you don't have the greatest vehicle, at least you can get from point A to point B. That's all things that she has taught us. So hopefully you all can learn a lesson from these 3 questions I'm going to ask her and her answers. So the first question is, why is it important to be thankful?
What's very, very important to be thankful, because if you're not thankful for what you have, it can be taken away from you. And it's important to be thankful, because every gift that we have is really a gift from God. And so we want to acknowledge Him and thank Him for everything that He has allowed us to have, or because some people don't have it. Some people don't have those things. So it is very important to be thankful for it and not to take it for granted. It's one thing that's very irritating to me is to be around someone that's constantly complaining, because you should look at the good in every situation. And it can be an annoying thing for other people to be around you if you're a person that complains. So, and if there is something that's not exactly like you'd like it to be, and it's in your power to change it and make it better, then take action. And do what you need to do to make it better instead of complaining. But sometimes things are just beyond our control. We're allowed in life to go through some circumstances that may not be the best or may not be favorable. Even in those things and in those times, God would have us to be thankful. So yes.
Second question is, what is a story you can tell where you didn't appreciate something, but you didn't appreciate it then, but you learned to appreciate it later on?
Thinking back on my childhood, it was something small. And many times children, they're not really thankful. They have to be taught to be thankful. But I would compare myself. I had a cousin that was an only child, and my mother had 5 children. So my aunt was in a position to do more for her than what my mom was able to do for us. Having 5 children, and my mother was a single mother for many years. And I was the oldest, so of course, I didn't get, maybe the younger ones got more even. But I remember my cousin seemed like she just would get everything, and I wasn't getting some of these things, and so I wasn't thankful for what I did get. And not being thankful sometimes can even cause you to be jealous, which is a very, very bad thing that you don't want to be in your life. But, and I can see, looking back, a situation where if my attitude had stayed that way, I could have grown into an adult, just being jealous of people. And, but anyway, I just remember she had some hairballs, and I was mad. I didn't have, some of those things that she had. And so I took some fingernail polish remover, dumped it on the hairballs, and they were changing colors and everything. And that might sound funny or trivial, something small, but that can grow into, you if you keep that attitude, you can grow into an adult, and you can become that way as an adult with bigger things. And then I would say, being having a beautiful marriage, you had the most wonderful father. I had the most wonderful husband, but I don't think I really appreciated him as much as I should have until he was gone. And sometimes, it's like that. You don't really appreciate what you have until it's gone. So, of course, I thanked him for being who he was, and I told him I appreciated him, got him nice cards at Valentine's Day and all of that. But I didn't really appreciate everything that he was, everything that he did till he was gone. So, and sometimes you don't really know exactly what you have until you lose it, but strive as much as is within you for what you have today to really be, if it's some special person in your life, whether it's your companion, a child, another relative, a good friend, strive hard to really appreciate them, be thankful for them, and let them know. Take that time and express to them that you are thankful, why you're thankful, while you have them. I know my pastor used to always say, give a person their roses while they're living, their flowers while they're living.
The third question is, what was one time in history where something happened and should cause us to be thankful for how far we've come?
Well, for us, African Americans, slavery itself. Just recently, I went to African American History Museum in Detroit, Michigan. And so just touring that museum and just really seeing and reading about all that we have gone through as a race, we know that it's nothing. We know that there were many white people that helped us during those times, but however, there were many that did not. But to see, and I know, I hear a lot of people say, well, things haven't really changed and things are still the same for us, and we still have our struggles, but we have come a very, very long way. Just recently, I work at the credit union, as you know, and a Black lady came in and said, years ago, you wouldn't have had this job, working downtown at the bank, credit union, because I think at that time it was a different bank, but she said you wouldn't have had that job. So, and my mom told me about how, well, and I think this was maybe Grandma Walker, years ago, you pretty much could only be, especially in certain states and cities, as a Black female, you could pretty much just be a Black nurse or a Black doctor, a Black teacher, a Black principal in a Black school. Other than that, you worked for the white people as a maid in their home or whatever. So you didn't have all the opportunities. Going to school wasn't as easy. Your great grandmother, she had to work her way through college, which is something you could do back then, but it was very hard, very challenging, but she did it. She only had 2 dresses to her name. My mom tells a story of how she washed one dress for the next day's use. So that was something that was, but in later years in Kentucky, when the schools began to integrate, she took that challenge to go to a white school and become a Black teacher there. And she was loved. She was very much loved. She didn't have the struggle that some others had during that transition from segregation to integration. So we have come a long ways. We know that there are still some struggles, but we definitely have come a long ways. Martin Luther King has done a lot. I mean, when you think about it, Barack Obama in office, we have come a long way. And so we need to appreciate what we have gained in society, the privilege to go to school. And young men need to take advantage of their opportunities. Not that everybody has to go to college, but of the opportunity that you have to work and to not be on the drugs and not rely on the assistance and all of that, because the opportunities are there. And years ago, they did not have those opportunities. But not just that, even depression, years of depression. When you sometimes you couldn't find a job. People were losing their homes, and just with so much devastation all over, and the soup kitchens and the lines they had to stand in just to get a meal, So we've come a long way, and I've learned a lot down through the years. We're in a society now, it is amazing. I watch people waste food. I can't believe it, because my grandmother taught us, you don't waste anything. They had meatless meals because meat was very expensive. So you had your side, a starch, and you had a vegetable, and that was your meal, and there might be a little bit of meat in the greens or something like that. But it's amazing how people are just wasting food these days. But we need to be careful, because we don't know where things are going to be going here in the future for our country. And so it's important to be very frugal and save and be careful with what God has blessed us with. And that's a way to show him too that we're thankful, and if it's something we can't use, finding somebody that can use it and not just letting it go to waste.
So these questions that I asked, there was so much wisdom that was, said by my mother, and so much that you could take from this video and apply to your everyday life. I think of, when she said, people wasting food, and, people not being thankful for the food that they have in the refrigerator. And that's huge. That's huge, because there's billions of dollars every year wasted, because of food. And that's one of the takeaways that I got from this, and that's so huge nowadays. And I really think that this video was, I really think it's gonna be a blessing to you, because there was so much wisdom here. I mean, you take somebody that's lived 50-something years, and been through a lot.
You're telling my age.
And been through a lot. But that just goes to show you that this is just all wisdom right here, and take all you can in and apply it to your life. So I want to thank my mother for participating in this video, and
it was a pleasure.
Doing something different, yes, and answering these questions and allowing it to be a blessing to you all. So I want to thank you so much for your precious time and your precious attention. I hope this video was a blessing and an encouragement. I want everyone to have a blessed day. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Everyone enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy family, enjoy food, and just take time and just enjoy one another. We kind of celebrated our Thanksgiving today because everybody had other things to do on the actual day of Thanksgiving. But what we did was we went around and expressed our thankfulness for each person. And so that's really helpful, because sometimes in the hustle and bustle of life, you're, why is this there? And how come you didn't put that away? And just, you did it, but just taking that time to let everyone know what they really truly mean to you. It means the world. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes, everyone have a really, really, really blessed holiday. And like I said, we thank you for your precious time and your precious attention. Have a blessed day, and as always, until next time. Yeah.